So welcome everyone to the February 9th, 2023 Inspiring Author Conversations. Our theme this year for 2023 is Market Your Book and Grow Your Business. I'm Kathy Davis with Davis Creative Publishing Partners. And today we'll be speaking with Amanda Bedell about how to sell more books with a 5-part framework. Amanda, forgive me, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Was it close?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. But before we officially welcome Amanda, I want to remind everyone of a few logistical details. The call is being recorded. You will receive a link to the YouTube video within about 48 hours after the call. Your attendance at these meetings serves as your permission to be seen in the recordings. Please mute yourself on your end so as to avoid any background noise. You can find your chat button down at the bottom of your screen, and please type in any questions into the chat. I'll be watching that throughout Amanda's presentation and make sure we get all those questions answered. We promise to end the call today around 12:15 or shortly thereafter, so everyone can get back to business. Please help me welcome Amanda Bedell. Amanda spent more than 15 years in the marketing field, working with multi-million-dollar organizations. In between, she built a bakery. I love this, carbs and content. Okay. From a farmer's market booth to a retail shop and manufacturing facility employing 15 people. Through a series of decisions over 6 years, she exited the bakery, defeated and exhausted, been there. From that business failure combined with her marketing experience, she formed BCC Business Consulting. Amanda calls herself a business chaos sorter and offers a simple to use process to bring clarity to business owners who want to write themselves bigger paychecks. I like that part too. Take vacations without cash flow. And I will repeat that. Take vacations without cash flow anxiety and endless phone calls from staff. If you'd like to see 75,000 or more hit your income statement in 30 days, you better call Amanda. Wow. Welcome, Amanda. That
You
sounds
like that
awesome. Yeah, it's like, this is perfect timing. Awesome. I know a lot of the authors that we work with have other businesses. And so this is great that you could be here. Amanda is a contributing author to one of our anthologies, the Ready, Connect, Grow, which will launch at the end of this month on the 23rd. So we're busy wrapping up all those final details. But welcome. Tell us a little bit. I know you have a presentation, so I'm going to let you just jump in and do your thing. We've got a couple extra people ready to join us in the weight room. And Amanda,
I'll take the floor.
please.
Okay, will do. So I'm going to open up this presentation, and it's going to be a little bit of a fire hose for y'all. This is usually a 50-minute presentation, so I'm going to go through it real quick. But, a little bit about, why we're even here. So,
and I would say, take your time, give us the whole presentation.
Let's just do it.
Yep.
Well, place in the chat if you are a business owner so that I know that I'm speaking to the right people. You could put a heart in there. You could put a sparkle, a celebration emoji. Tell me that the business owners are in the room, because this is, yes, it's about selling books, but you can also use this information for your business. So thank you so much for being here. And I mean, you are action takers, you are decision makers, you are above the rest because you came here and you're showing up. So I'm going to show some strategies for you, but really give you an understanding of why these strategies are so important to me and why I love sharing them with as many people as I possibly can, because it really is easy to win new clients or customers when times are good. Like in the before times, in 2018, 2019, it felt like we were making money and we were all prosperous, right? But when times get tough, that's what separates the Joes from the No's. It's when we have weak systems in our business, chinks in the armor of efficiency, resilience, value, we experience a gaping hole that opens up and prosperity drains out. That's how businesses go out of business. But there are dozens of ways to fix this, and I'm going to show you a few today. At the end of the day, I mean, the stuff that I'm going to teach you, it works on any business. If you're selling a book, or if you're an e-commerce business, if you're a product-based business, service, brick and mortar, it will work for you, and you'll receive actionable steps to get results immediately. But before I do that, let me tell you where I began. You got a little sneak peek of that with Kathy. It was a hot August Tuesday when I wrote this passage on my Facebook page, and I know that's very little, so I'm going to say it out loud. In the review mirror of life, I will be able to look back on this time and see these experiences help me receive my heart's desire in grace and in perfect ways. 4 months after I wrote that post, my life changed forever. Through the series of decisions that I had made over the course of 6 years, I was broke and I had lost my bakery business. This was a huge public failure for me. You see, I had launched that business from a single farmer's market booth and bootstrapped it to a retail store. And I had a wholesale manufacturing facility. I did over $1 million in sales. I had 15 employees. And on that Tuesday in August, I had 4 maxed out credit cards and an empty 401k. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that now I'm sitting in a brand new car and I get to look into that review mirror and I get to say to my reflection, you're okay. You made it to the other side. And over the course of the last several years, I've dissected every piece of what went wrong, and more importantly, found a passion for sharing it with others. So that's why I'm here today. And the presentation is comprised of crucial information that had I had it, that bakery story would have had a different ending. So here it is. I'm just going to get right down to the beat. Don't worry about the little words in the middle of these, but I want you to focus on the 5-part framework here. This is your foundation, leads, conversions, transactions, and profits. None of these should be new to you, but really what I want to show you is that every single action that you take in selling a book or growing your business or having a profitable business is all found in this 5-part framework. So you may have heard of the 80-20 rule. Maybe in January, you had a New Year's resolution of eating chocolate 20% of the time, or maybe you have an ice cream addiction like I do, and you are, oh, I can only eat it 1 day a week. But with the 80-20 rule, we can focus that in on business as well. It does apply to business. And what that means to you when you're selling books, or if you've got a business, it's 20% of what you do each day is generating 80% of your income. Or you may have heard it in a slightly different way. If you've got a bakery like I did, like a brick and mortar or an e-commerce business, you might hear that 20% of your customers generate 80% of your income. Well, what I'm doing with this 5-part framework is putting a magnifying glass up to that 20%. So in each of these areas, if you can find one thing, and I know that's really hard for business owners, is to do one thing and focus on it relentlessly, you will have a business that works. It all clicks into place, and you will have a successful business. So we'll explore a little bit more about that and finding your highest revenue generating activity here today. But first, let me show you the profit growth calculator. This is the 5-part framework in a slightly different way. And what it's doing is, what I want to show you is, when you focus on these 5 different areas with 1 or 2 different strategies, you will be able to totally change your life at the end of the day. So I'm going to populate it with a make-believe business and read along the left-hand side here on the baseline, but fill it in here for you. So with this make-believe business, we have 1,000 leads coming into the business. From that, 25 of them are converting, which means that they have 250 customers. Let's say it's a bakery business, right? 250 customers. Of those 250 customers, they buy from that bakery 10 times. throughout a year. Then our average unit per sale, let's say, is $100. They're buying bread, they're buying all their things. And so we've got a total revenue of $250,000 coming into this business. Then we have a profit margin of 25%. At the end of the day, we've got a net profit of $62,500. That would be a fairly okay living if you were not in Seattle like I was. And if you had a partner that you were sharing your bills with, but I did not have that as well. So let's go across to 10% and see how that kind of changes our business owner's life and how easy that can be. So with leads, we just need 100 more leads. So we go from 1,000 to 1,100. With conversion, we go from 25% to a 27.5% conversion rate. That's a 10% increase. That means that we have 302 customers coming in. Of those 302 customers, we have them buy from us one more time. Then we look at our average unit per sale and increase it by $10, just $10. Maybe you've got a favorite cookie that you can showcase and someone just says, "Ooh, I need that one. I need 2 of those." The last minute, buy that. Then we have 365,420 as our gross revenue there. Then we have a 27.5% profit margin. And now you see our business owner has now hit 6 figures. Now, what happens if we have a 50% increase? We just need 500 more leads. So optimizing our lead strategy so that 1,500 come into our business. And of those, 37.5% convert, leaving us with 562 customers. Of those 562 customers, we work to get them to come into our business 15 times in a year. Then we look at our units per sale or our pricing matrix and increase our prices so that we are now at $150. Now our business is over $1 million. We also have a 37.5% profit margin here. So now you can see it at the bottom of the screen there. It's almost $500,000 in net profit. That is where we can take care of our people, where we can vacation without cash flow anxiety. We can, pay our people better, do initiatives that we might not be able to do when we don't have the cash flow that we need in order to survive. So the 5-part framework is really beneficial to anyone that has a business. You may have heard of a business scorecard. Business scorecards are indicators, data indicators that you can find out whether or not you're on track. A lot of times we as business owners get so distracted by all of the numbers that we can have, KPIs galore, analytics galore, but how is this really impacting me? When you use the 5-part framework, you can find out, okay, how many leads am I actually getting? How many of those leads are qualified? What am I doing in order to optimize my lead strategies? What are my goals just in leads? So when you have that, and then you do that across all 5 of these areas, now we have something that we can measure and improve on. So really you need 5 or 6 numbers that you look at from that high level to optimize your business. So let's go into leads a little bit and do a little bit of a workshop-y thing here really quick. So what is the most common way that we lead generate? A lot of times it can be networking, perhaps. And then this is kind of teasing into the book that I am doing with Kathy, which is Connect and Grow, which is all about our network and networking. So the most common way is how you introduce yourself. So you didn't come to this presentation because you said, "Oh, gee, I wonder what Amanda has to say." It's just not. Don't worry, you're not hurting my feelings. But your attendance actually has nothing to do with me. You have a problem and you don't want it. And you are hoping that a result might come from what you hear today. So here's my takeaway for you, and write this down. And I'm so sorry I'm the bearer of this news, but nobody really cares about you, your business, the title of your book, or really anything, except for if you can answer their problem that they have. So what they really want to know is, what can you do for me? What do I have to do? How long will it take? And how much is it going to cost me? Really, our prospects, these are what they're thinking in their head. These are the questions they're looking for. They're trying to hear from you. So when you keep these 4 points in mind, you create a message that's like a dog whistle for your ideal client or customer, and it cancels out any other noise that's happening around them. So what do you say when someone asks you, what do you do? That dreaded question. What do you do? Well, you can say something like this. I help blank to blank without blank. So I help my ideal client or customer. And then you say what you can do for them and the pain they'll avoid while they get it. This will become crystal clear on who you're talking to, so that the person that you are talking to can either refer you, or they are your ideal client themselves. And then they'll know exactly what you can do for them and the pain that they'll avoid while getting it. Every single one of my clients, it doesn't matter how big or small the company is, we start here. And it's really hard to do, I know. But let me show you a few examples. So this was a landscaping company. My husband and I own a landscaping company, is what they used to say at the chamber event. And it becomes, instead, we create beautiful landscaping for busy professionals that makes their home the envy of the neighborhood, so that they can avoid the heat and spend time doing what they love. Do you see how that takes away? It's super clear on who we're looking for. If you need to ask me how much it is, it's too much for you. I own a gluten-free bakery becomes, I help the people of Carlton celebrate life's moments with tasty treats every person can enjoy regardless of food intolerances. And then this also works with employees. So I'm an engineer at Acme Corporation becomes, I design high-tech fuel systems for cars so they burn less gas, which means car owners like you can save thousands of dollars each year and help heal our planet. How cool is that? I want that. So I'm going to turn this on to you. And why should a customer pick your book? First, I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation. Let's pretend that I own a performing arts enrichment program for kids ages 5 to middle school. I'm invited to a PTA meeting where I get to be in front of 150 caregivers. Now, I'm going to ask this question to the audience. Raise your hand if you want your kids to experience dance, painting, acting, music in a safe environment that are free to express themselves. A few people. So if we can agree, maybe 6, maybe a dozen people will raise their hand. Now, what if you said this thing to the same group of people? Raise your hand if it sounds dreamy to have your kids leave summer camp not only exhausted and fed, but also set up to increase their critical thinking skills by 87%. How many more people would raise their hand? Maybe a lot more. So now let's turn this on to your business. What I want you to do is think about either your book or your business. And I want you to quickly write down, I'm going to give you 90 seconds and time you at that. Write down every reason why someone would want your book or your product. Just scribble it down. Every reason why someone would pick you over everybody else that's selling exactly what you sell. I'm sorry, I don't have the music playing in the background.
Or the TikTok.
Yeah. 90 seconds. Anything you can think of.
And we may even have a volunteer in the group. I'm kind of looking through. the people who are here. And my guess, there's going to be at least a couple that might
Talk
be
about
willing
it.
to volunteer.
Well, we don't need to volunteer yet because I'm going to give you some hard news after this. So
Ah.
keep writing all of your areas, all of the reasons why people would pick you over anybody else. Ten more seconds. Okay, if you can finish your thought and then look up so that I know I can move on. So many studious folks. I love it. Okay, are you ready? I want you to embrace yourself. This is going to be really hard. We do hard things today. It's almost like a Brene Brown. Okay. If anything on your list has anything to do with your experience, I want you to cross it off. Doesn't mean we can't use it, but for our market dominating position, I want us to cross it off the list. If it has anything to do with your credentials, MBA, certified, cross it off the list. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be in your marketing, but that won't be the differentiator. Your unique story. I'm the only one who has experienced 4 credit cards in debt and empty 401k. That's not the truth. Actually, more people have lost their houses and all sorts of things. So anything about your unique story, cross it off the list. Your unique solution. You've got the most streamlined this or that, my 5-part framework, cross it off the list. Your service, you treat them like royalty or they're like family to me, cross it off the list. Now, if there's anything else on your list, we'll want to explore that as your differentiator. And before we ask for some ideas on what's still on people's list, let me tell you the difference between a comparator, which evaluates the suitability of one solution against another, and it's about the product, and a differentiator, which distinguishes one solution over another, and it's about the customer. So really what we want to do in our messaging, in our market dominating position or unique selling proposition, we want to be in the differentiator. We want it to be about our customer, really identifying what that problem is that they have and the solution that they want. Because your client or your customer might not necessarily be looking for you, but it doesn't mean that they don't need you. So that's really when we're saying, I'm a gluten-free bakery. That's for someone that's looking for a gluten-free bakery. That's not necessarily looking for somebody that's looking to have something for an entire wedding party. So, but how does someone really cross the line into knowing that you're the one? Really, you're an expert in what you do, but it's not your unique solution, story, experience, or credentials. What you need to do is demonstrate your unique understanding of their condition. Draw a straight line from their condition to what you do, not a curly Q. A straight line from their condition, their problem that they want to solve to what you have to offer. In the example that I shared, it was the unique understanding of the caregivers in the room that got that summer camp filled up. It was the mom saying, oh my goodness, you get me. This is going to work. So even in our book text on the front and then on the back, how can we illustrate these 3 things that your audience wants to know? So write these 3 things down. They want to know that they're understood. Like, you get me. They want to know they're safe. Like, you've got me. and they want to feel helped, like you can help me. You won't be able to do market dominating position in the 90 seconds or the 4 minutes that we just did today. But at least you can go back to this and potentially spend some time really honing in on that message. What is it that I'm really trying to convey to folks? And what we're looking for is a fragment. It doesn't need to be a full sentence like your elevator pitch, though that's very easy to use later. But your market dominating position is a fragment that really holds your ideal customer client at the center. And it also helps you make business decisions. So I would think of like Domino's as an example. Hot pizza, 30 minutes or less, or it's free. That holds hungry college kids at the center. It also helped the leaders in an organization make decisions on risk of, turnover, on where they're going to have their locations be, which is near college campuses. They're going to be weighing decisions against this market dominating position. And as you grow, you can say yes or no to things. It makes decision making easier for you. So I encourage you to keep some of that work going. Is there any questions or anybody want to say anything about potentially having a comparator or a differentiator on their list? No, we got shy people in the room today.
I would say, raise your hand or just unmute yourself and start talking. Feel free to jump in if you've got a comment or a question about this part. Well, I know we have a lot of smart authors here on this today, so looks like they figured it out.
I love Mary's comments. I'm a business owner.
Yeah.
I did it again. I know.
Yeah.
I did it. Oh my goodness. I love it. Great. Well, we'll just keep moving on. So if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this presentation is that in order for your business to succeed, you must enter the conversation taking place in your customer's mind. And that evolves around two emotional issues. They have a problem that they want and a result that they want, but don't have. We all love to buy stuff, but we hate being sold to. So what do we really want to do when we're buying something? We want to buy into a higher emotional state. We want to get out of our pain point. So think about that as you're creating your taglines and your titles and your copy, your marketing copy for your books. So put that at the helm of your marketing and you will be successful. And it goes against the grain. I mean, some people are doing it now, but a lot of people do something more like what I call yellow pages marketing. So strategy number one that we talked about today was market dominating position, but how can we integrate that market dominating position in a way that really impacts our bottom line? That's what we're going to go through super quickly here. So here is a common website. There's 4 calls to action on this website. It's really hard for us to determine what I should do when I come here, and I'm not sure what I don't know what to do, right? And then we have this chiropractors, and calling used to be a thing that would happen. People would call to get more information. People don't call for more information anymore. When they call, they're ready to be in your sales funnel, which means that they are already on their buyer's journey. So before I jump into the next thing, I want you to think about what percentage of your prospects do you believe are ready to buy now? Make a mental note of that. But really, what the buyers, all of us, go through a predictable internal and informational gathering stages on the way to purchase anything. So no matter what we're buying, think about it the next time you buy something. What are you determining? What are the things that your reasons why you wouldn't? Think about that. And then we're going to overlay that on your business, because the people that are buying from you are going to do the exact same thing, because marketing is strategic. And really what we have failed to understand is the buyer's journey in our marketing when we're doing marketing. Here's the buyer's journey. So 99% of viable prospects are investigating. They're not ready to buy from you yet. They're looking for more information about what you're selling. And like I showed a moment ago, if you are a chiropractor and all you have is a call number, what people are looking at are the comparators. So they're looking at price, or they're finding another way to just determine like, oh, I guess I like this website better. I'll call them, or that face looks nice, so I'm going to call them. It's not really diving into the real reasons why you're solving their problem. So when was, think about the last time you bought anything of significance, and really the next time you're in a grocery store, jot down your process and what you did, because then you can go ahead and reflect that into your business. Now think about your business in your marketing, and are you advertising to only the 1%? So those people that are in vendor selection, who should I buy from? Are you thinking about the 99% that aren't ready to buy yet? And what are the decisions that they need to make before they select a company? What are their objections? What are the benefits? And how do you insert yourself into their journey? And I'm going to show you an example of that today. But first, let me share with you the conversion equation. This is a formula that takes your conversion rate from 1 to 2% into 30, 40, or even 50% increases in conversion. So let me show you how that goes. Interrupt. You need to use a headline that states the problem your prospect has but doesn't want. Then a subheadline that promises a solution to that problem. So drawing the straight line to where they are, to where they want to be. Then you can educate them. And then you give them an offer. And the offer is so compelling and irresistible to your ideal client, not everyone in the world, because then it won't be resistible to everyone, right? When we market to everyone, we market to no one. But it must be so irresistible that your prospect can't turn it down. So when you think about your industry, do you think people use this formula when they're creating their marketing? A lot of people are, some aren't. It's catching on. But let me show you how it works in a real life example. So here is a website, the old website for Dr. John Smith. And this is a free consultation. And he was so excited about this free consultation. But then I also want to point out a few other things here, that he's specializing in 9 different areas. And then here we've got greetings, parents. I want to welcome you to Remarkable Parenting, where you will find tons of great information here with hundreds of pages of articles. So there was just so much information. But if he put himself in, the mom that is handling a bullying issue, do you think that she has time to sift through 100 pages of articles? No. And remember, you need to enter the conversation that's taking place in your prospect's mind. And they're not thinking, wow, I really need some parenting advice from Dr. John Smith. Right? So we created a landing page for them, and landing pages aren't new anymore. So you've likely seen them, and you've likely seen them super long, and then you've seen them short. So I wanted to show the short one because it can be short. When you hit the right points and you give the people what they want, it doesn't need to be a long sales letter. But I circled the interrupt, engage, and then educate and offer is right there in one section. So in here, we become a dog whistle to someone who wants to get the secrets to gaining and maintaining complete control of the child in less than 60 seconds or less. So we became a dog whistle and created a noise canceling message. So here's the good stuff. It's the results. It's the numbers. So I want to show these to you. We had Google AdWords running for this company. So he had 300 leads coming in per month. And then we, on average, got 30 calls to ask about the consultation. And then 3 of them consented to the consultation. And then John had nearly 100% conversion rate when he got in front of folks. So 3 became new patients, which is a typical 1% conversion rate. But with a landing page, so we didn't change anything on the leads strategy at this point. They were all coming in through Google AdWords, but now we have 60 people requesting this offer. On average, then 6 became new clients. His net profit was $800 per, so 24 per month increase in sales, which equaled $30,000, just about thereabouts. And the
I have a
only
quick
change.
question.
Mhm.
I mean,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm just curious because the logo over here, remarkableparenting.com, it's really small.
Uh-huh.
And when I was coming up with a website, someone's like, it has to be bigger. People have to know, they have to identify with it. Can you just, I don't even know if that's a valid point.
Yeah, and I would agree. I mean, so from the way that I teach folks is that remarkable parenting doesn't even need to be on there because your customer doesn't care. In my website, it's all the way down on the bottom.
I love that.
Okay. I mean, people get mad at me, because yeah, it's different. So thank you, Pam. But yes, so but you spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of money on my logo. So, I do want it places, but the customer, the potential customer does not actually care. They do want to know, your brand and your like what things look like. You want an essence. You do want your logo to be there. But at the end of the day, the decision making is about answering the problems. Okay, so let's see here.
Yeah, we've got a question from Lisa.
Mhm.
I don't think my logo was on my book website at all.
Go, Lisa. So I'm going to skip over this part really quick and go over to, I want to show you what happens when you follow up with folks. So it's using John's website again. And that marketing, typically with the Yellow Pages marketing that I explained to you earlier, we need anywhere between 20 to 100 touch points before the person makes a buying choice. But, and then I want to bring up the point of market saturation. So, on social media, we're seeing close to 6,000 marketing messages in a day. But using that conversion equation that I shared with you earlier, we can drop that touch point anywhere between 5 to 12 touch points with the direct point of contact between the business and the prospect. So if you're able to grab that information, the information from your customer, the email address, phone number, mailing address, again, it needs to be about your ideal client. So you don't want to be spammy. We want to create information that is for your audience, and you want to touch your audience in ways that they want to be touched. So if they don't want to be emailed, you shouldn't be emailing them. If they want to be text, or if they don't want to be text, maybe they need direct mail. And then direct mail does work, but we need to touch them more than once. It's 5 to 12 times. So 80% of all sales are going to incur between the 5th and 12th point of contact. Direct contact is what I want to point out in this slide. But yet, less than 10% of businesses are following up twice. So I even fall into this in my own, like, oh, I don't want to bug them, or you don't want to be one of those spammy people. So really, when you would know what the person has as their pain point, then you can, once that pain point is answered, you can give them all kinds of information to get out of that pain. And it doesn't have to do with sales at all. So let me show you what happens when you have a drip campaign set up here. So 300 leads per month. So this is just a review of where we were. So we saw the $30,000 annual increase. But now what happens to those 54 folks that aren't buying his services yet? So we had 300 leads come in, 60 opt-ins, and then 6 became clients, but 54 are qualified, they raised their hand and said they want the information, but they haven't bought yet. What happens to them? Well, we want to put them into a drip campaign. This is this is the numbers and what that looks like over the course of a year. If we say that in month 2, let's say 2 more people became clients of his. And then month 3, we have new people coming in, then 2 people became new clients, and then 2 more. And we're running this campaign for a year. So at the end of 1 year, this is what the math looked like. We have 4,000 prospects coming in and 156 new clients. We no longer have a lead issue. We have a logistical problem because John can't see all those patients himself, right? So this is 156 new clients generated $124,000 in additional revenue that never would have converted without a follow-up system. So that can really be a huge game changer for folks. And I know that we're running up on the last few minutes of that. So what I just want to say is that, customers are more and more skeptical. So we need to make sure that when we're creating this stuff, that we're creating things that are really unique to them and their problems. When you're speaking to them, it isn't a sales message. It is an informational gathering message, and from their side. And when you're sending it, all they have to do is reply in an email. You reply, you don't have to say, oh, and buy blah, blah, blah from me today. You could sprinkle in a few things if you have another step that someone could take, like say you have a webinar or something, you could say, join my webinar, and then they can go into another funnel for you. But yeah, that's what I've got for you. So here's some things that you need in order to win in business. And most of it we covered today. So businesses and marketing knowledge, a framework for measurable success, a compelling scorecard, a strategic marketing plan. And you also need a peer group, advisor, coach, or mentor. And you've got that here with Kathy. You've got a peer group that's amazing that you all can learn from each other. And, when you're doing this kind of work, really what you're doing when you're working for yourself is an investment. You took out an investment in yourself, and you need to protect that investment. So there's way more in my Profit Jolt workbook. So we only covered leads, but all 5 of the 5-part framework is covered in my Profit Jolt workbook. And here that is for you. And really, you'll see that I've stripped away all of the chaos and the overwhelm to focus on the top 5 areas that most businesses struggle so that you can be successful. And all of the strategies are able to be implemented right away. You don't have to add any costs in marketing or advertising. It's stuff that just click and it works. It's streamlining, it's optimizing what you're already doing. So now I can open up with more questions. And I know that we ran right up to the minute.
Oh, we're good. We're good. I also wanted to let people know that those links will be in the follow-up email, the link to contact Amanda, as well as the link to her free download. And we'll make sure that everybody gets that in the follow-up email that has the link to the recording of this particular event today. So are there any other questions? We've got a great group here I know we lost a couple that had to leave early. Well, we've got about, this is math, about 10. 10 or so people here. And many of you I know do have businesses.
This was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amanda, what would be my first step?
First step in which one? In the drip campaign or the whole thing? The first step, I think for me, it's to download the book so that you can see all 5 parts of the framework. And then if you want to talk about your business in particular, just with me, we can get together and just discuss where you are.
Okay. Thank you. This was amazing.
Yeah. Let me drop my email.
And we'll also make sure that's included in our follow-up email.
There you go.
So Amanda, tell us a little bit about the the chapter that you're have written And that's in the upcoming book, Ready, Connect, Grow, that's coming out on the 23rd of this month.
You bet. So that my chapter is about monetizing your network and networking. So I give a model that I actually skipped over today of how you can monetize folks. And really it's about sharing revenue with each other.
Mhm.
And I like to say that it's getting the money out of the hands of Zuckerberg and all of those Googles of the world and putting it in the pockets of the people that we see or the people that serve the exact same customers as we do. So I talk about how you can leverage relationships to do affiliate marketing or joint venture opportunities.
Awesome. And just so everybody knows that the ebook will launch on the 23rd for $1.99. So if you want more of Amanda's information, you can grab that ebook, and it'll also have your lovely QR code to your contact information.
Mhm.
And it might even have another download in that.
It
In your-
does.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you, Amanda, so much. It has been so informational. I know we've gotten a lot of good comments coming in too. And be watching for the follow-up email. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to Amanda. Her email is in the chat, and we'll make sure you get that.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you, Pam. And thank you, everybody, for joining in today. Thanks for being here. We'll talk
Thank you.
soon. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.